is John with his music, Peter in Aberdeen, and Stephen in the UK. We do apologise for being a few minutes late, and say good morning to Tish. Such are the trials and tribulations of tech. I know what the problem was, and I shall explain what happened to BeLive.tv, because yes, it's a Facebook thing.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, I suppose first thing to do is to say, find the agenda. I've got an agenda, and say welcome to the show. And if you're not watching us on the BeLive in 5 page, you'll find a link up above. You can click that link and you can come and join us and comment live. This is Blabbing for Britain, episode 144. That's 12 times 12, 144.
It's going to be a gross day today.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, it's...
old-fashioned measurements, I'm thinking here. A gross is 144, isn't it?
Yeah, score is 20. Score is 20.
What's the score with the agenda?
Score with the agenda is we've got something coming up in a minute. And just say, Tish is saying, she just sent me a message saying we hadn't gone live, and we know we hadn't gone live. We were fighting networking demons, but we've actually got here. Right, okay, where to begin then? Okay. Now, we've been watching. I've been sort of on the outskirts of Bitcoin for quite a while. Have either of you invested or got involved in Bitcoin?
Absolutely not.
No.
Would you like to say why, Peter?
Because it's just, listen, it's unregulated, yeah, and it's hyped up with people. I've seen people buying in, and it's the same as everything like this. There's no actual thing in your hand, and all those that get out in at the start, great, and it's like a pyramid scheme, a Ponzi scheme as far as I'm concerned, and one day it collapses. Because I'll tell you why it will collapse as well, because the government get no revenue from it. It's not taxed. Am I right?
It's above countries, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
So the governments will put an end to it if there's no tax being shared within it. And buying in, I don't understand it, but I think you have to buy in to buy your product. Yeah, your Bitcoin. And I can just see people getting hurt with it. I used to see, my Bitcoins went up this much and up this much and up this much. And then when it started going down, they weren't so vocal.
Well, it is. John, do you understand how it works? Because for the bit mining thing is.
I keep getting loads of emails telling me that they know my password, and if I don't pay 500 million Bitcoins, they're going to tell the world. It's something I've just ignored, to be honest. It's a bit like gambling, isn't it, really? On the other hand, one of the gurus, if you like, of the business world that I follow is a guy called Peter Thompson down in Leamington Spa. And he bought some in the early days, and they're worth a small fortune compared with what he paid for them. So,
yeah,
to the rain, really. Some people regard it as a bank.
To get that money, he's got to cash it in, and I believe it's not so easy to cash in Bitcoin.
There's loads of different Bitcoin routes for going forward and getting rid of them, Peter.
Okay. So how do you get rid of them?
You cash them in, Pete, just like you cash anything else in, or you use them to buy something.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean it's too volatile. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We expect a currency to be stable. I mean, we know it's going to go up and down, like sterling goes up and down against the euro and the dollar. But Bitcoin it's just crazy, isn't it? It is betting. The people are betting on the currencies, and there's two too much black magic on how they were actually created.
Yeah.
You know, it's not transparent. Question from Tish, Peter. How are you feeling this week?
I'm a bit better. Yes, I've still got a lot of stress behind the scenes. Not my fault, but you know, running a business as you get a wee bit bigger, it can cause problems when somebody disappears. You know, things like that. But now I'm feeling a lot better. In fact, I'm feeling great actually. If I had £1 for every time that I meet somebody and they say how great I am. For instance, I went out to a shopping centre near us the other day, and I met a guy I was at school with, became a fireman. He had a heart attack, and I just seen him sitting there, and I've met people at the same time as me. I've had my problem. I'm now dead, you know, in that short period of time, and put on a hell of a weight. And I'm just so glad I do what I do, and I value each day. Yeah.
Good. Right.
So thanks for asking.
In which case, it's time for a story which you can sort of lead on, if you like. Mm-hmm. Why do we hate wasps and love bees?
Well, wasps are dangerous. As I said, this year I had someone in with anaphylactic shock in hospital because we come across wasps and they're quick and they're dart about and they terrify people, you know. And they're a danger when they come out of their habitat into yours. Bees are seen as pollinators, slow, bumbling bees, not honeybees. And it's just got that, they've just got that, more people get stung by wasps than they do with bees over the years. And they can be aggressive.
Well, they're aggressive in autumn, aren't they?
As well, though, aren't they?
Sorry?
I believe they're a good pollinator in the earlier part.
Of course, yes, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that when you're on a picnic and they start swarming around, you think they're after the beer or the jam, when in actual fact they're just after insects. So they've got themselves a bad rep, haven't they? Really?
Yeah.
Plus, it's a sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
people panic, and so that's the main reason people phone me in, because of fear of what could happen to them.
I mean, bees produce honey, and we've domesticated the bees, whereas wasps don't. So, do they? They don't, do they?
No. In fact, next year, I've just got in touch with the local Beekeepers Association, and they're going to train us how to collect the bees, because when we go to a house, we'll say, oh, you'll have to get a beekeeper in, it's honeybees, blah, 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 blah. So what he's going to train us is going to train us to actually collect the bees, you know, put them in a box, put them somewhere, and because let's get this straight, honeybees in Britain, right, are not protected. Did you hear that? They are not protected. Now, when they cause a public health danger, i.e. coming down a chimney into people's houses, and a beekeeper 99 times out of 100 does not get to them, then as pest controllers we can come in and we can do something about that. But if we go to a bunch hanging on a tree, he's going to show us how to collect them and then take them away. So it's a win-win situation for the customer, for the customer.
That's good. Have you found the file yet, John?
Sorry?
Have you found the file?
Oh, yeah, I did that. That was what the music was Peter's video that he was sending to me.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to
it by email, so I think I'll just drop it in OneDrive and then send Peter a link to OneDrive. That'll probably be easier.
Yeah. Because I'm looking forward to putting it up, because as you know, I listened in a wee bit last week, and I know you were saying where I was not there. But yes, I'm obsessed with social media now, as you know. Right.
There's no cure, Pete. Once you've got the bug, that's it. You're in.
It's like Stephen and live streaming.
Yeah.
He must be the world's most active live streamer.
Tish is saying, I hope our friend Stephen Silk is well. Yes, he's been ribbing me all week about this, and I'm going to talk about it. I'll probably talk about it again when he arrives. The Premiership. I've been getting ribbed by Stephen and John this week because whereas last
I just said they were subject to a Greek tragedy when he asked, were they still in Europe?
Yeah, it's a Greek tragedy that took place in Turkey. The situation is that Burnley, who I was able to say last year were doing extremely well in the Premiership, being seventh, with the Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool above them, are now at the bottom of the league with only 1 point from 5 games. The only thing I can say is that the people of Burnley are optimists, and we're pretty sure that all will be right in the end. But obviously, the aim this time round is to finish mid-table with no way of getting back into Europe, I don't think. But these things happen. I mean, this is...
He's gone?
He's gone. All right. I managed to find a way to cut off a thing about football.
Don Gremlin, I know that's happened to... I'm going to report that as well. I just got ceremoniously dumped back into the lobby. Where was I? Oh, I was talking about Burnley.
You were finishing off about football.
And Michelle's watching. Michelle says he's back. The other news of the day is that Michelle has changed her profile picture. Okay, I saw that in my Facebook news feed, so it has to be news. Teams go to the peak of their performance, and then they just lose it, and that's basically what's happened at Burnley. We had 6 extra matches this year before the season actually got underway, and thank you, Michelle. But teams, they have their ups and downs, don't they? You know, it's the nature of things.
But it isn't just Burnley at the bottom, is it? You've got the likes of Newcastle and all sorts of people right down there that you wouldn't expect to be at the bottom.
That's true, and that's what sport's all about. You can't predict what's going to happen, can you? At all. It's a bit like Bitcoin.
And you can't be at peak performance all the time. Something's got to give.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, with a team, you would hope that some people will stay at peak performance, others won't, and you actually just be able to sort of get through the bad spell, as it were. When the whole team starts performing badly, then you're stuffed.
Anyway, next time he ribs you, ask him where Stoke are in the league. Yeah. First of all, they're a whole tier below your team. Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay. They're in the bottom third as well. So
I've something to show you.
Okay, Peter, screen's yours.
My new flask for live streaming.
You've got a live. Most people have a cup, Peter. What's the speciality with this?
No, his office is outside the house.
I can drink in this. I can drink from this one, but I'm going to pour it into the cup because yes, because while you're talking about football, I can pour my coffee.
Okay, if we're going to do cups, then I've got to say that I'm going to make sure that this is right. This is my cup this morning. And it's probably back to front.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's the right way round.
Oh, right. Brilliant. Okay.
Right.
Obviously, the message was to Angelica, not to, well, I love you guys, but the message was to Angelica.
It doesn't matter which way around you look at mine, the stripes or hoops, whatever you want to call them, are always the right way around.
Don't you think it's great to sit and have a coffee at live stream because it makes it look so more relaxed, you know? Don't you think? Sitting having a coffee and stuff like that.
Mine's mushrooms.
Right, there's only one thing that rankles with me, and that's eating whilst you're on air. Drinking, fine. But right, okay, shall we move on? Now, this is an interesting one. of course, we know in Salisbury with the Novichok incident and the death of a lady as well, that things have not been, well, couldn't be any worse really, until an incident this last week when a couple fell ill in a restaurant in Salisbury. And of course, as soon as anything like that happens, all the emergency services are called into action. The streets are cordoned off. The news reporters turn up. The restaurant is closed. People are sent home halfway through their meals. Staff are sent home, and then you discover what? That the male partner of the couple who fell ill is in fact a hoaxer.
Yeah. How much does that cost the economy?
Well, it's costing Salisbury. Well, I'm going to say it's crap behaviour, isn't it?
He should be charged.
I hope they prosecute him. But it was her that kept running in and out of the toilet, wasn't it? And her that called the ambulance.
They should be prosecuted in their faces. They thought it was funny. Apart from they were jailed.
Yeah.
When they were jailed.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking right wing here. We're talking common sense. That with a city on high alert.
God disgrace. Obviously, they don't have a business that depend on the money for the tourism, etc.
And restaurant, doesn't matter where they are, restaurants are all struggling at this moment in time. They're closing left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
that's true. So the consensus is that he should feel the full force of the law.
Absolutely.
And Tish is agreeing with you, Peter. And also agreeing with you, Peter, is Michelle, who's saying it's very popular eating on stream on Twitch. Right, okay. All right. Why do we hear what's from the bees?
Michelle says mushroom soup at 10 in the morning. I don't drink tea or coffee, so soup is about the only hot drink I get, Michelle, and the odd cup of chocolate. Right.
Now, this is not the UK, but we in Europe are aware of what goes on around the globe, and we do have a close affinity to Australia. Well, at least I do, because my son's over there in Melbourne. But there's a strawberry scare at the moment, and they're finding needles in strawberries.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. We had a bout of this, didn't we? Not strawberries, but similar.
Yeah.
Foreign objects in food.
Somebody was injecting stuff into food.
Yeah.
And you'll always get it. And what they're having to do, I've seen it this morning, they're actually having to put in, the farm producer is actually putting in metal scanners as they go through production.
Yeah.
Crazy. Very dangerous, that. Very dangerous.
Right. As an allotment here, John, your take?
Dunno. My strawberries were pathetic this year.
I'll tell you what was good. Tell you what was good this year.
Mush.
Tell you what was good this year. We got grapes. We got some beautiful bunches of grapes, which tasted far sweeter and far better than anything you can buy at Asda, Tesco's, Lidl. Homegrown stuff is good.
I regularly, obviously, as the secretary, regularly walk round the entire site. Yeah. And this year is the first year I've noticed how many people have grapes on the allotments, because in the past they've been tiny little things, you know, that you wouldn't pay any attention to, about the size of a raisin. But now people have got some really luscious grapes this year.
Are they easy to grow?
When I lived at Mum and Dad's, Dad tried growing them.
Right.
It was a disaster. And then we put one in a barrel and grew it up the back of the house. But it survived for 4 years, because apparently it takes about 5 years before you get any return. And then the frost killed it off. So.
Right. So not yet got the climate, but this year the temperatures throughout the summer have been right for the grapes to mature and ripen. And
a lot of people plant the grape itself outside and then grow it into the greenhouse, because apparently the rootstock needs to be kept cooler than the actual grapes growing themselves. Wow, a barrel. It wasn't a Watney's red barrel. It was whiskey barrel.
Oh, right. Okay. Truth will out. All right. Anyway, so we've gone from, yes, done Bitcoin, we've done wasps.
Is there any exciting subjects I can get riled up about?
Look, Mr. Angry of Aberdeen, keep that blood pressure down. So is Gordon back at work, or is that part of your problem?
He's come back today.
Hey, welcome back, Gordon.
Yeah. And is he better?
He's out with the other guy. Speak to you about off here, things like that.
Well, it seems to be a good news day all round. We'll come to Brexit related. Angelica became a British citizen. And,
wow.
This is 25 years ago. At the time, she had to give up a German citizenship.
Yeah.
With everything that's going on at the moment, she decided she would like to get it back, and she can. And she started the process. She started the process in July by filing for it, and we heard today, after 2 months, they're actually starting to process it. So that's good. And that will give her dual nationality. So if things do go, well, they couldn't possibly go wrong, could they, Peter? But if things do go wrong on April 1st, then...
After a few years, she'll be saying, do you know, Peter, you are right. I'm going to denounce my German citizenship again.
No. Right.
Do you know, actually, I actually feel sorry for people, because I've got a friend that's an Indian, and he's had to give up. He's become a British citizen.
Yeah.
And he's had to give up his Indian citizenship. And I feel sorry for him having to do that, because he's an Indian at heart. You know?
Yeah.
But I suppose if you come over, just thinking many years ago, a German living in Britain, and then we go to war with them, same as Japan, all these. Where does your heart lie? Is it the country you're in, or the country you're from? Where is it? You've got relatives in each country by then. That must have been really hard.
Well, that was an impossible situation, wasn't it? Just after the war and during.
Did you know all the Japanese were interned? Japanese
in America. In America, yeah.
And what a lot of people don't know, the Japanese men in the internment camps were given the opportunity to join the American army and go out. There's a film about it, and they went out and actually fought Japanese. And they used to listen to radios and things like that. So they used them for that. But they were Americans. They said, we are Americans. And they went and fought the Japanese. Did you know that?
I've seen a documentary or two about it, so I have vague memories of actually knowing something about it. Anyway, you wanted to get something to get your teeth into, Peter.
Right, okay.
Brexit may urges EU leaders to consider serious UK.
Now she's walking, and she said to them, I'm being serious now. You better take what we say seriously, or we will be walking out that door, and you can sing for your money.
Yeah. The crazy thing that gets me is that we knew that negotiations would go down to the wire. Now, logically thinking, the wire would be next year, March 28th. Yeah. But we're saying now that if we don't reach an agreement by November, that's it. We're going to sit on our hands for 4 months and not talk about it anymore.
No, quite right. The ball is firmly in the European court. They want to come with us and work with us, or do they want us to go into World Trade Organization's role? Make your mind up, Europe.
Well, they're going to do what's best for them. I mean, you can't argue with that, because we would do the same.
And we've got to do what's best for us, but they don't think that.
I was listening to Radio 4 this morning, and there was a BBC reporter doorstepping the dinner that took place last night in Austria, in Salzburg. And on the way in, she was actually doorstepping the prime ministers from each country.
Okay.
And they were all saying, there is room for manoeuvre. We don't know what's going to happen. We're going to wait and see till the meeting's coming up. And they got through all the prime ministers. Then they got to Angela Merkel. Mm-hmm. And she just said, I do not know, and walked on.
I do not know. There you go. Well, I'll tell you what was happening behind the scenes. The German car manufacturers will be saying on that phone, that line, you better do something about this. We could be in a bit of trouble here.
Oh, let's talk to that, because car manufacturers, who's closing down for a month?
BMW
closing down
mini plant for a month.
Yeah.
In April, for the whole of April next year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not as dramatic as it sounds, because they already had a annual close down plan.
That's right. So it was,
and they're going to re-equip the entire line to build the new, more advanced Mini.
Yes.
So it's not quite as bad as it sounds. But what they've done is, instead of doing it at the August bank holiday, which is when they normally take 2 weeks off, they've combined the 2 weeks they have off in August with 2 weeks that they have off in April and close it down for a month. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean the staff are not working. Mm-hmm. It just means they won't be producing cars during that month, because they'll be rebuilding the line.
Did they put on the headlines, and it's not because of Brexit? Did anybody put that?
They deliberately moved it to then because of Brexit, because then they've got a month to sort out any supply lines whilst they're carrying on doing the plant.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to if we do break away? I'm looking forward to have the slimmest, fittest country that we have ever had. Just from we'll line up for our rations, and we'll lose all that weight, and we'll start running bicycles. We will have the fittest.
Want to go back to 1948, Peter?
Oh, I think it would do the world good. There would be less diabetes. They'd say, hey, since this has happened and we're food rationing, diabetes cases has went down. People are coming off their medicines. What the
blood pressure? Blood pressure?
No blood pressure.
Right. So
no blood pressure, mate.
We have the solution, folks. You heard it.
Processed foods. What you'll have to do, John, you will have to have Dad's Army type people on your plot, because people will be stealing your strawberries and everything that you grow.
Right. So the news is,
like it or not, Peter, that happens on every bloody allotment.
I know that.
The news is that the 29th of March 2019 will be followed by the 30th of March 1949, and we're going to start again, and we're going to go through the 70 years, and we're going to pretend the rest of the world doesn't exist. We will eventually catch up, but it means we've got to give up colour telly, internet, calculators.
All right.
We go back to pounds, shillings, and pence. Wow. Yeah. People would have to be able to add up then, so education would improve.
Yeah. So you wouldn't buy a newspaper? You say, who's paying 17 shillings for a newspaper? No way.
No, a newspaper would be threepence, Peter.
That's 3D, not 3D.
Yeah, 3D. Yeah. That's what I said. Threepence.
It's not worth threepence.
I think that we should promote that, because we can go back to simpler ways. We'd all have allotments. We'd all be cycling, and a lot of good would come out of going back to 30th of March 1949.
Speaking with threepence, I met a guy that I employed many years ago. Was having a laugh. He says, "Yeah, I watched your business growing as the money started coming in, and all I got was threepence. Oh dear, sorry for my American friends. It's just the wrong stuff here. Got threepence.
Yeah, let's take Brexit off.
Just finishing off. I think people might, if May's still in, right, they might get a share and say, we can't. She just may turn around and say, we can't come to an agreement, so therefore Britain is now going to have to trade under World Trade Organization. She just might shock everybody at the end.
Well, just to finish off then, I loved how Gove, former, well, he's been everywhere really, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He stabbed most people in the back. He's the most loyal person in government. Was on the television over the weekend, and he was talking on the show on Sunday morning, and he said, and I paraphrase here because I can't quote it, that we should accept and push ahead until 29th of March, do everything we need to do, because when we get a new leader of the Conservative Party, then they will be able to sort things out. So,
did you know he's from Aberdeen?
Oh, well, no.
There you go. And
do you know him?
Yeah, he used to be a journalist in the local paper.
Ah, right, okay.
And his father was a local fish merchant. And I do believe he's because of all the things, his father lost his business in the fishing industry. So I thought you might have known that. So he's from Aberdeen, local journalist on the evening paper. And he went to the famous Robert Gordon's school.
All right, okay, and we've got...
I'm getting a bit of information from Tish, but while you read it, Stephen, Peter, tell Tish there's no E in whiskey.
Whiskey, yeah. That's American whiskey.
Real whiskey has no E in it.
Tish is just giving us a reminder. I'm just giving you a month's forewarning. The fall 2018 time change for the UK is October 28th in UK, and it's November 4th in the USA. Oh, that's going to be a fun week. Again, I always look forward to that week. I totally get confused.
Does she mean autumn? Or the end
fall?
Of
Look,
time?
like it or not, we're actually on American television at the moment, and we've got to use the lingo. Yeah, so every time that we quote is Eastern time, and we've got to talk about the fall, and obviously we're British. And
by the way, I watched. Remember you asked? I read Sean Spicer's book just recently. Finished it.
And
what did I learn? Maybe I told you this before, but what did I learn from it? I learned about all the back work from the both the parties, but especially the RNC, is it the Republican National Congress? The amount of work going behind, and the one thing that I do remember out of it all is they encouraged people to go and vote early by post, so they didn't leave it until the last day. The same as anything they'd done. Everything was well organised beforehand. And once the people once they got them to vote Republican, they couldn't change their mind. So that was quite critical in it, Quite enjoyed this book, actually. Yeah, I did.
Now, I've been doing a bit of subliminal advertising in the last 40 minutes. I'd just like to tell you about something happening October 1st to 5th on BeLive in 5, and that's the 5 days live, which was a great success back in August. We're going again, and you'll be able to watch Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. in the UK, a series of 5 programs with co-hosts myself, Brigitte Limbanda, Erin Strayer, Lottie Hearn, Annie Mora, Linda West, David Burrows. I've got noises off. David Burrows, Cheryl Piper, and my great friend RJ Redden. And that's the 9 of us, 9 instead of 8 this time. And we'll be taking you everything you need to know about live broadcasting over the course of 5 days in 5 free broadcasts, which are at 10 a.m. Eastern. Watch out for more advertising as we get in the run-up to the 5 days. So that's Monday through Friday, 1st to 5th of October. And if you want to know anything, yes, Carol's there. And first time we have Lottie Hearn from Ireland joining us too. So it should be good. Right, normal service is now resumed. Just to catch up on 1 or 2 comments, Corinda is saying, is it me or has Peter got a new background? Would you like to explain where you are, Peter?
Corinda, I'm sitting in my little office. Sheila kicked me out of the house. So I'm out here, I'm on, it's my office, as you can see. You know, I run a pest control business, so I've got my insect wall chart. I'm still waiting, I'm still trying to get the best back cover from them. And it's my little office, and it's using a home plug, which means it uses the electricity wire. And as you can see, it's working very well, and I get a good speed. And actually, Corinda, I was actually thinking of you today. I says, where has Corinda got to? I hadn't seen you for ages. I must admit, I'm not so much doing live broadcasts, etc. just now, because I've got other things in my life to do. So that is the reason I've got a home office now.
Right. Michelle's reminding us, wait a minute, advert time. Go on, John.
Not advert. Michelle, what are you selling? Just what you wanted.
Who's that
for?
It's
a CR2032. Battery's gone flat in a PC.
Okay.
Right.
She spent a lot of money on a very fancy new power supply, and it wouldn't work. It turns out it was a battery that was knackered. Anyway.
Right, Michelle's saying, reminding us it's officially still summer, which it is. We've had a hell of we've had a brilliant summer, have we not?
Oh,
weather-wise.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh,
volunteering, cycling, walking.
I'm dreading winter.
Fairly reasonable one. But it's a crap day today here. I don't know about anywhere else.
Very windy up here.
Tipping it down here.
Right, and Corinda's saying he was at the IBC in Amsterdam. Peter has just come back.
What's IBC?
It's a computer fair, I think.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And Michelle's saying no, it was a memory stick, John.
Right.
I've not been following the full story, and it's Michelle says it's windy and chilly today. Yeah, but this is what we normally expect. What we've had in the last 3 months has been just awesome. Right, and full time is the 28th of October. Thank you, Tish. Corinda, there you are. Yes, indeed. Right, okay. I'll go back to my agenda. Right, okay. This is just some information for everyone.
Summer finishes on Sunday, by the way.
What?
Summer finishes
the last day of summer is 23rd of September, which is Sunday.
Okay.
Okay. Right, just for interest's sake, because I live near to Stonehenge, after the show, you can go and check out some Stonehenge pictures, which are recreating when people visited Stonehenge many years ago, and they are quite interesting. So I've posted the link. That's something to look at after the show. It's a call to action, and they're very interesting, worth a look. All right, okay. Now
Have you seen the golf pictures by the New York inmate who was had served 27 years?
I saw the headline. He was pardoned, but I didn't see the photographs.
Okay, he wasn't pardoned. What happened was they attracted so much attention that one of the big universities over there got their law students to look into what went on. They found several things that were not done properly. They found someone who'd already 11 times publicly said that he'd pulled the trigger. And they also found out that the prosecution had not told the defense that when they analyzed the guy's clothes, there was no, the blowback that you get from firing the gun. So the prosecution really knew that he hadn't pulled the trigger.
Absolutely.
And he served 27 years. But his amazing golfing pictures that led to him being exonerated.
There's been quite a few cases like that. And what happens to the policemen, etc., that frame them? Nothing.
Well, I think in this particular case, the person who's responsible for this wasn't really a policeman, but was the prosecutor's office. And I'm not sure they're actually around.
27 years of their life gone. I think it's a damn disgrace. It really, really is. I hate injustice. I really do. Anyway, we'll get back to Stephen's agenda.
The agenda. On to the agenda. Just to let Corinda catch up. Corinda says he missed the F1 because he was away at that show, and I can confirm that the race, of course, was run by Mr. Hamilton, who's going to win the championship.
I still can't work out how people going 50 times round a lap, 50 laps of the same circuit, can have any form of excitement to anybody whatsoever.
I know.
I mean, first of all, when they go past you, they're in the blink of an eye. And they just go round and round. Okay, it's an odd-shaped circle, but that's all they're doing.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, Stephen, he's nothing.
No, look, John, if we all like the same things, life would be very dull indeed.
Well, there's only one thing worse than F1. Tennis.
That's cricket. Oh, tennis. Tennis is down there with cricket. What about rugby league? Does that figure at all?
Oh, that's all right. I don't mind that. I mean, at least they move around, and okay, they're bounded by an oblong, but so is football. But F1 is down there alongside cricket and tennis, but tennis is the worst.
Right.
I used to be able to watch tennis. Right, what's next on the agenda? Get away from this sport.
Right. Okay, this is recommendation from our health service. Stoptober is coming up after September. We now have an annual drive to encourage people to stop smoking, and for the first time ever, the health service are recommending as an alternative to actually to vape. But they're saying don't go cold turkey. If you do go cold, because Michelle's here. Michelle, is a non-smoker. Michelle is a non-smoker, and in the true sense, she doesn't vape either. They're saying now that don't go cold turkey. Do take the advice that they give to you and go through their pack, which takes you from being a smoker to being a non-smoker, and you have statistically a better chance of giving up smoking if you do it with assistance than if you go cold turkey on your own.
Well,
so that's just.
Because I reckon shortly that 1 in 10 will be a smoker, and I've seen a quick headline today saying that there's going to be a push for no smoking in England completely. There's a headline I've seen today.
My wife would never be able to comply with that.
No.
She was going to give, before we got married, she was going to give them up when they got to 50 pence a packet. I think they're about a tenner now.
Yeah.
She just can't.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
It is.
The only real answer is to never start.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to go back a few years then, because most smokers actually start when they're at school.
Yeah, that's where I get them, because they think it's cool.
I tried it once, thought it was like coffee. Ugh. You know.
Right. And Corinna's making a point, they need to ban smoking in cars because it's bad for kids and it's...
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we'd all
Oh,
agree with that.
The number one ribbers of my wife about smoking, you think it'd be me, but it's not. It's all three of my children. They all get very angry with her about her smoking.
It's very difficult. So starting an alcoholic. That's me coming up to my 14th year without drink shortly in November. And it doesn't, but I'll tell you what I have done so that I can socialise even better. I've got fed up with Diet Coke. I've started drinking. How's a plug for Heineken? Heineken Zero. It's got the taste of alcohol, but there's no alcohol in it. And it's very refreshing. And I have a couple of them when I'm down at the pub.
Yeah, I quite like the Cobra alcohol free.
There's a Cobra alcohol free, and also another good one is San Miguel. That's like my Spanish there, San Miguel. But there you go. And the reckon again. Oh, I'll tell you what. Do you know what's opening up in Aberdeen? A nightclub shut down. Guess what's opening up? A nightclub. An alcohol-free nightclub. Can you believe that?
I mean,
don't know if it'll last, but it's going to be. But I know the guy because he was an alcoholic himself, and I do know him. So has John disappeared again, or is it just give us a bit?
Stephen's gone. I'm still here.
John's still here.
Stephen.
Right. Okay. Now something that did arrive on time this morning. Sorry about that, but it was a report on the train delays. A lack of accountability led to rail timetable chaos. In other words, the rail system had a new timetable put into place earlier this year, and it didn't work, did it? They changed the John's looking for his copy of. No?
No, I'm just stretching my neck.
Oh, right, okay.
My neck is a bit stiff. I don't know why. I think it's
I'm going to say that the railways should be nationalised. There shouldn't be all this separate company stuff with separate people operating the track, separate people running. It just doesn't work.
But as a conservative, I agree with you.
British Rail didn't work either, so where'd you go from there?
And look who they had in their advert. Remember that advert? Let the train take the strain. Remember who was in it?
Jimmy from Scarborough.
Yeah. Jimmy.
So there you are.
Sorry, we got that wrong, shouldn't we? We should have said Sir Jimmy from Scarborough.
Oh, yeah, I'll be right.
Right. Okay. Right. So we've decided that after the 29th of March 2019, we are having the 30th of March 1949. And we've all to go back for that one day to 70 years ago when life was so much simpler. Right, okay. We've done Stonehenge photos. We've done Premiership. We've done Salisbury. We've done Brexit. Is there anything left to talk about? Anything you'd like to talk about, gents?
Well, we could talk about the Villa.
No football. Oh, shit.
Is that a Roman Villa?
Yesterday, by two last day of the season, last day of the transfer season, freebies. Yeah, and played their hearts out yesterday. So did good. It cost us nothing. They're on loan for 12 months, and they've turned the team round.
Good. Good to hear. Good news, football stories. Talking of good news, the UK has got a satellite up there in space, and it's actually collecting space junk.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently there are 7,500 satellites actually orbiting the Earth at the moment, and quite a few of them are redundant, just junk. So we've got our own satellite up there collecting the space junk, which is good news. There's another satellite launched. I was hoping that our space correspondent would be with us today, but unfortunately Stephen has not made it. Because we launched another satellite this week, didn't we? Which is going to help with a whole lot of things. Do you know anything about it, John?
No,
okay.
nothing at all.
I'll research it for next week. But the interesting thing was that the actual technology in the satellite itself was British, but it was actually launched by Indian space expertise. In other words, our space expertise, we subcontracted it out to India. Right, okay, we're coming up towards the end of the show. So,
well, we were a bit late starting, so we could always run over if you can think of something to talk about. Don't have anything to talk about. This is terrible.
Well, my mind is sort of geared towards the hour. We were 7 minutes late. You're saying we should have 7 minutes overtime?
Well, I can tell you a bit of an achievement to me. have you ever wanted to get the day, right, that you could go into a shop and buy a size 30 to 32 waist? Oh, isn't it great? Because that's what I'm doing now.
Pete, I've got a pair of 32 waist trousers.
All right, does it find your leg?
30 odd, how many years have we been married now? 36 years ago. Yeah, I had a 32 waist. I don't have a 32 waist today. But in January I had a 44 waist, and today I can get in 40 trousers. So
well done. That's good. That's good.
Heading the right way, John.
Even my daughter commented about the fact I'd lost weight.
And you know, if you shaved your beard off and had a real good man's haircut, what a difference you would look.
Yeah, but you see, the real thing here, though, is A, it's not particularly grey, yeah? B, I've still got hair, and I'm a bloody lot older than you, so shut up.
Let's change the topic. We haven't talked about the hurricane yet.
Okay, hurricane.
I mean, we know people who live in, well, I know people who live in North Carolina, so does John. And they've come through it. They've come through the other side of it. But the damage, just incredible.
Yeah. See that woman that got blown off in Ireland, blown off inside a caravan over a cliff? You read that?
I don't like it either.
Yeah.
No. She's from Denmark.
She was from Denmark, was she?
She was a tourist. Now, my partner Sheila said to me, "You want to come over to a wedding in Mexico a few years back?" And I said, no, I can't make it, blah, blah, blah. So they went to Mexico, and they were caught up in the biggest hurricane they ever had. And they were put into a football stadium. And then it got so bad that people were stealing from other, and they said if they don't stop it and they went on food rationing, and they said if it doesn't stop, we're calling out the civil guard. So in a hurricane, everything breaks down. People take advantage of others, and people help others.
Totally changing the topic, Peter.
Yes.
Your missus and the dog came down to Gloucestershire a couple of weeks back. How did they fare?
They done very well. They actually came fourth, and so that was fourth in Britain for that particular show. People from all over Britain came fourth. If she'd become third, she would have had a trophy, but unfortunately, they've done very well. So she made up for it last weekend, and Poppy got another first in Scotland. A lovely dog. Lovely dog. But she's not very obedient at times, because when Sheila goes to work as a night nurse, she knows that the last thing she says is, "Don't let a dog in the bed." Well, when I get up to go to bed, the dog's in the bed before me. and
our dog doesn't come upstairs. She knows.
But a lot of it is, for being an obedient dog, I said to her 6 times, "Go down to your bed." And all I get is her turning and looking at me. She just wouldn't move.
Without them, though, Pete.
Yeah, oh, they're great.
Oh, I just dropped my phone on the floor.
I'm going to do a segue here. I'm going to do it pretty good. Corinda is saying Gloucester. Gloucester is a county in England, Corinda, not too far away from Wiltshire, which is where I am, and other counties are Warwickshire. And
I think Corinda knows where Gloucester is, as he went to school there, according to that.
All right. Okay. Which brings me on to counties. And the counties in England and, well, I'm actually saying there's a 1 billion in unpalatable county council cuts ahead of us next year. Now, pardon me, but the demand for services from our county councils goes up every year with an ageing population. So therefore, you would expect expenditure of councils to rise every year, certainly by the rate of inflation. Yeah, that would be logical. That would be the logical way to do it. But instead of which, it's easy for government to say to the county councils, your budget is being cut by so many tens of millions, deal with it. And the net result of that is that they have to cut services, they have to cut services that are run by county as opposed to town councils, and they're cutting what we would call services to the less able people in the community. And I don't think it should happen that way.
Very different. So what they should do is they should maybe say to people that are unemployed and can't get a job.
No, this has nothing to do with unemployment, Peter. This is councils this is councils cutting money for services which are given to the elderly and the ill.
Couldn't they get more volunteers to go and help in that services as part of a community-based helping scheme to get them out and have dignity and doing some work for the local community in order to get them back into work instead of sitting playing, watching Jeremy Kyle, etc., etc. Do you not think that might help?
No.
The problem is much bigger than that. I mean, the money for county councillors has been cut year on year for too long. I mean, they're cutting services which have been part of our infrastructure for so long, and now
that's why I like
our county is even more odd. Yeah, because I live in a county that has the second largest city in England and another city, Coventry. So you've got Birmingham, Coventry, and Wolverhampton, which is also a city. So we've in fact got 3 cities in our county, and very little else around that. You've got Solihull, which is a county borough, and Walsall, which is also a county borough. So I don't know. It's really weird because the county actually doesn't really do a lot. I mean, the first time West Midlands County itself has become noticeable, shall we say, to people who live in the area is since we elected a mayor for the county. But other than that, apart from the annual county bit on your rates bill, you never hear anything about the county around here. I guess it's probably more different in more rural areas.
Up here, we used to have Grampian Regional Council. Then they split it into Aberdeen City Council and Aberdeenshire Council. Yeah. And then before a new government comes in and says, let's combine it all again. And then you've got money to pay. And they spend money changing on their logos. And then they split up again and they change on logos and whatever and all that sort of stuff. And it's the same now. I don't know if you're in Scotland. We are now Police Scotland. And that's been a disaster. Sorry?
I was going to mention that because you went from something like 13 chief constables to 1 overnight.
Yeah. And there's a bias towards the Central Belt, as always. There's always a bias. We never had police horses in Aberdeen for football matches, and we got on quite well, thank you very much. Now they transport up police horses from Glasgow to Aberdeen, and they're not needed. They're not needed. And all these sorts of things are going on, and the police are leaving because of the central bias. So we've got, I don't know if you know about this, but we've got a north-south divide in Scotland as well. Was you aware of that?
No.
Well, I thought you had like a triple because you've got the bit between the Central Belt and England.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got pretty empty, isn't it? Apart from one or two places.
You've got the Central Belt, which is Glasgow, Edinburgh areas, and then maybe Perth, and then poor old Dundee, right? Dundee just gets left out of everything as far as they are concerned. But they've just opened, I don't know if you know about this, but Dundee is actually a growing city. And they've just opened a brand new, you can look at the internet, Victoria and Albert Museum. With look it up, you'll see that it's and I quite like Dundee. And then when you go further north, you've got Aberdeen, which is in a bubble in its own. And then when you go up to the Highlands, it gets worse. And then you've got the islands. For instance, when the oil was at its height, police. They couldn't get policemen in Aberdeen. So what they done with Police Scotland is anybody that joins, say, in Edinburgh or Glasgow, a lot of them are transferred up here. They says, yeah, we've got your first job for you. Now that you're past your police, you're going away to Aberdeen. Go, what? And that's what's happening. So we've got a lot of police up here that aren't from the area now. And that's what's happening.
Right. Are we nearly there yet?
Yes,
John?
that's it. Yeah.
Time to go, I think.
Yeah.
Over to you, John.
Well, it's goodbye from Peter, the king of blood pressure variation, from Stephen in Wiltshire, yeah, and from me down in the West Midlands. And we'll say hello and goodbye on behalf of our Stoke City representative, who's probably out networking because that's all he seems to do.
He's away propping up Jeremy Corbyn.
Sorry?
He's away propping up Jeremy Corbyn.
Oh, right, okay. He's got a new podcast being launched soon, so we'll all be listening to him on the I don't think you could call it airwaves for a podcast, can you? But you know, we'll all be having to listen to him soon. So, hope everybody enjoyed today. Do something good over the weekend. Peter, I have absolutely no doubt will be bike riding. Stephen, are you not going to Stonehenge again this weekend, are you?
No, out walking.
Out walking. All right.
Good.
And I shall be allotment tearing.
Very
Goodbye.
good. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I've got to press the wrong button then.